flosstube, it's Catherine Stitching in Costume. Welcome to my channel. This is a channel that I put on all about my stitching. A little bit about some quilting towards the end, but mostly cross stitch. So today I'm going to jump right in and push through because I have so much to share. It is August 15th. I've been super busy trying to stitch all the things, and so I want to share a bit about what I've been working on and a couple of things that are past finishes. So I'm going to start off with some finishes that I have recently done, and this is for Cross Stitch Camp. If you're on Instagram and you're following Sherry, the Colorado cross stitcher, she started something in June called Cross Stitch Camp where you could join in and you start whenever you start and hopefully finish by the end of the month, and if you post it then you're eligible to win prizes. But it's just a lot of fun to participate and watch everybody else's progress as they post during the month. So I did not do June, but I did do July and I finished it. So I'm going to show you my start and my finish. Well, I'm not going to show you the start because I already finished it. So this is the chart. It's called the Tudor Bee. It's by the Blue Flower. I had not worked with a blue flower chart before, so that was a first to me. And that was the prompt. What is a designer you've not worked with before? So here is my chart. I started it July 1st. I was going to start something else because it was my birthday. I was going to start Consider the Lilies. I had charted that or kitted that up, and I decided not to. I decided to start this. I thought, well, let's just see. That should go pretty quick. There's a lot of stitching in this one. It's beautiful. I love the chart. It's a great chart. I stitched it on, let me pull it here, 40 count old stationery by Seraphim. And this is my finish. I used all the called for DMC, but I did substitute the gold out. It called, I can't remember what the color was that it called for. It was kind of a light green, and I chose to stitch with DMC 729 to make it more of a gold, and I love it. I think it turned out great. I can't wait to frame it. I'm going to show you my frame. Do I have it? I don't know. I'm not going to go searching. I have it here somewhere. If I find it, I'll pull it up. But that is my finish. So I started July 1st, finished July 28th. So I did it. I made a finish. I got over the finish line. I was so happy to get a finish. My next finish is, again, it is for Cross Stitch Camp. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Here's the chart. Now the chart I found, Lori Holt, I was watching her and she showed her start on this, and she was using, she does like a red sampler in the morning where she'll do 2 strands of red floss or a strand of floss just to kind of wake her brain up before she starts to really stitch. So she showed this. La-di-da. That's not the full chart, but if you want the full chart, just go on over La-di-da. It's a freebie, Hand and Heart, and you can download it there. You can see I already highlighted it because I was trying to stay on track and I got off track and I had to unpick and repick, but I unpicked and restitched, and there's my finish. And I used the new to me floss is sulky thread, and I'll show you that in a second. It's a red, and this is a 36 count, so I used 1 strand of sulky over 2 linen threads on my 36 count. It's hang on one sec, let me look at that. It is Silk Weaver, and this is a buttercream, but I overdyed it with just a little bit of tan rich just to kind of tone down the yellow in it. And this is the sulky thread I used. And let me show you that number, 1039. Let's see if I can get that to focus. Probably not. There we go. And I loved it. I like working with the sulky. It gives good coverage. So I got a bunch more. Well, not a bunch more, but I have some. So I got a couple of greens. I got some golds, a yellow and a lavender, and another red, which is more of a country looking red. So yeah, find some other project to do. I also did some banding with that. So this is from Sassy Jacks, and it is a 25 count. Is it 25? It's either 25 or 28. It might be, it's 28 count banding. And I just pulled this alphabet that I had in a book, and I pulled it out, and I used this color. Yeah, I think I used that. I can't remember. I was gonna put my glasses on. Might have been this red. And just played around with it. So I don't know if I'm gonna continue on doing more of the sulky on this, but I just wanted to see what it would look like. I haven't done anything on that banding before, and I wanted to give it a try. So those are my two recent finishes. Now I'm gonna show you some past finishes that I've had, and I wanted to really show you some of my Halloween finishes. I know a lot of people are trying to do Halloween right now. They started it for August so that they're done by September so they can fully finish it by October. So I have some past finishes, and I think I've shown a couple of them, but it's been a while. So I'm going to pull those out. I'm going to show you the chart. So if you're so inclined or inspired to be starting some Halloween projects yourself, this might give you a little, just give you some inspiration. So the first one I'm going to show is a prairie schooler. And this one's called Who's There? Who's There? And it's, I did it on an 18 count. Ada, and I overdyed it with a gray Rit. It was just a white Ada. Excuse me. And I used it called for DMC, although I did I changed out the grass. I don't know why. I liked that green. I wanted a little color, so I added it, and I think the skeletons look really happy about that. I like this pattern for if you have little kids, because the skeletons look happy. They're not too scary, but it's kind of, yeah, fun. This is a fun stitch. I used two strands of DMC on an 18 count Ada, which I don't know that I would do that again. I'd probably do one, but it was early. Oh, I also entered this in the fair when we first moved up here. I think this was 2018 that I did this, and I got a first place ribbon. I got a blue ribbon on this. So if you want to learn more about ribbons and the fair, please go to Vonna Pfeiffer. She has a great, not tutorial, but she's got a great video, her recent video, all about her fair entries and why she enters in the fair, and it was so great. It was inspiring. I went to the fair last night with my husband and our son, and I was, we walked through where all the quilts were displayed and some cross stitch, and saw the ribbons, and I thought, why did I not enter this year? Because I entered last year, but I wasn't sure that they were going to have it, and anyway, there's a good reason to enter. It keeps the art alive a little bit more, so next year, for sure, I will do that. Okay, my next finish that I would like to share is called Halloween Delivery, and this is by Plum Street. I love this one. I'm all into carriages. My dad was, well, I don't know if you know, but my dad used to restore Wells Fargo stagecoaches, so I have a soft place in my heart, a soft spot for the carriages and stagecoaches, and this one I thought it's a beautiful design. I love the bird, and so my finish is a drum. So I watched a Vonna Pfeiffer tutorial, and I did the drum. I think I've shown this before in my floss tube, and I usually display it with this little pumpkin on top, this little velvet pumpkin that I found somewhere. So there we go. Yes, Halloween Delivery. And to make it go around into a drum, I added a couple little pumpkins, and then I just took that motif and I put it there, boink, and yeah, just to give some more stuff here so it wouldn't be so empty in back. So that's one. I'd never put it away. I keep it out year round. Okay, this one. This is a good one. Do I have it? Yes, I do. This is another Plum Street, and this is called Halloweenies. And I did this for our daughter and her husband. They have two mini dachshunds. So I Did this on 18 count Aida, again the same Aida that I overdyed with the gray red. It's kind of cloudy looking. And 2 strands of floss. Did I use, I think I used the called for flosses. And I Priscilla-fied it. So yeah, it comes out in October. She hangs it up in her place, and then it stays up for quite a while, and then Christmas rolls around, and I think I did one for Christmas, the Christmas Dachshund chart that Plum Street Samplers did. And so that one goes out, and then I store this. So I get the job of storing it, but I love it. It's just a flat fold, and I put these little hangers on the back. I just sewed them on, and it's easy to store. Just kind of put it down and store it. So that is that one. Okay, my last one that I am going to share today is by Shakespeare's Peddler, and this is Jenny Bean Halloween Sampler. And I knew the second I saw this I wanted to do it. I did this on 32 count Lugana, and I think this is one of the first times I had worked on a Lugana, and it's overdyed. You can tell. I can't remember where I got this fabric. This is like 2018 maybe when I did this. And so the way I have this, it's in like a shadow box. I just some thrift store find I got, and I did not make that little kitty. That kitty, sorry about the reflection. That kitty is actually, I found it at a local craft store. I thought that was fitting for Shakespeare's Peddler Kitten Stitcher chart, and I like the fun pumpkin there. Ooh. So this one I put up in my sewing room. I have kind of a wall that's kind of like the dark wall. So I have this one, and I have Earthly Treasures, which I've shared before, but I'll pick it up and show it to you again. So there we go. I love that one so much. I love her charts. And there's Earthly Treasures, and I know I've shared that before. And I think this is one of the first ones I did on linen. And again, this is Plum Street Samplers. It's called Earthly Treasures. I did this in all the called for flosses on a 36 count. I don't remember what the fabric was. It's definitely overdyed. Most likely probably not Lakeside or anything like that. I don't know. I know I didn't dye it. There's that. But yes. And I believe I used 2 strands of floss with this because I didn't really know much about it. This is, again, 2018 that I completed this, so I probably didn't know much about using 1 strand of floss. Didn't make sense to me, and I think it looks good. I think it's probably a looser weave of linen. So, and again, this hangs up in my sewing room year-round. I just love it. I love that sentiment. Dwell not on earthly treasures, nor covet or envy or pout. Thou entered this world and brought nothing in, and will carry with thee nothing out. Right? I dwell on my earthly treasures, though, especially my sewing treasures. Okay, let me move on. Okay, I'm going to show you another finish. So this is a small finish I did. I was watching Stacy 911 Stitcher, who I just love, and she showed a strawberry that she had completed. It was a fabric strawberry. And I know Celeste Creates has shown that before, and I thought, you know, I need to do some strawberries just out of fabric. And I have this fabric that is, it's kind of a fake sampler look, you know. So it has a sampler look to it. I think it's vintage from the 80s, 70s, or 80s, probably 80s, 90s. And so I just made a couple little strawberries. There's one, there's a polyfill, and there's also walnut shells in there. And so it gives it a nice squish. And I have this one, which is, let's see if I can get the front part. It says home up there, but yeah, I like the pink flowers. And then this one's great. It's a pear. Hey, did I show you my giant pear? got a giant pair. Thrift store, and this sampler, which I'll show you later, but yeah. So these I keep in my candy jar. So I think a lot of people are collecting these little vintage candy jars that have all of the slots on top that you can put your scissors in. Some people make them into pin cushions, but I just thought that's a good little bump. And I have my scissors. My dear sister Liz gave me these beautiful, I think let me see if I can look at it. The maker is Guggenheim, and I know if you are on watching flosstube, or sometimes on Facebook, this scissor maker will pop up, Guggenheim, and she has the shears, and so she bought me these little snips. They're curved at the end and they're rose gold, so pretty, for my birthday. Thank you, Lizzie. And then I also got this vintage, just at the thrift store, just a tomato, and that's the way it came. Had all these fun old pins in it. And so again, Susan Stanley, who I love, hi Susan, makes me think of her. And that goes up here. I have another one. Okay, let me push on here because I don't want to go on and on. So I'm going to talk about when we're finished here. And this is actually a quilting finish, but I'm going to show it here. I have been playing around with applique. Olivia B. and Lori, Textile Lust, I will link them below, they're hosting a Blackbird design quilt along, and it's for applique, and you can pick some applique, try it out for the first time. They have some great tutorials. They have a lot of good tips on how to get started. I'd never tried it before, and I've always wanted to do it. So I bought the Blackbird design book called Fresh Picked. I don't have it here, but you can find it on Amazon. And they have some beautiful designs in there. And Olivia B. Actually used this as this particular block as her tutorial, and it's very good. It helped me a lot. And so I just finished it into a project bag. I just made it a little panel there. I added some pieces on the side. The back just kind of wraps around, and I bound it that way. And that's it. And I put a little handle on top. It's got pellin in it, so it's good and stiff. So I can pop my pattern in and take it with me. And yes, there is a finish. I might show that. Oh, here's my, this is my frame that I'm hoping to use for the Tudor Bee. I want to show it to you really quick here. I think it's perfect. I found it, I had another piece of art framed in it, and I pulled it out and it looks perfect. I haven't framed it because I thought maybe I want to make it more goldy, like shiny gold, but I think it might be good just like that. Let me know what you think, if you like it this color gold. I can always paint it a different color, but I think that looks pretty. Kim Goldman, Kim the Contented Stitcher, she's the one that got me started on this. This is Kim and Amanda Alba Stitcher were hosting a stitch along for this, so I jumped in and did it, and I'm so glad that these stitch alongs happen. It kind of pushes me a little bit to actually get some things completed, which I'm really, really grateful for. All right, let me see. Let me go on. Let me push. Okay, so whips. All right. I should be done with this. I should be done. I'm almost done. I've been picking it up, putting it down, picking it up. So I've been picking it up lately. So this is called Scandi Heart Sampler, and it's by Historical Sampler Company. And I'm doing this, I think the reason why it's taking me so long, I'm doing it on 25 count linen, 1/1. So 1 strand of floss over one linen thread. And, you know, stitching over one, it's a challenge for me. I'm learning a lot. Some of the stitches, you know, don't turn out as great as I want them to, but I'm learning how to make over one stitching work a little bit better for me. And I'm using the called for DMC for this. Yep, that's what's going on with it. I'm almost done, so I need to push on this, and I'd like to get this done by Sampler September, by the 1st of September. And you can see I'm getting close. I just need to give it a few more days of a couple hours, and it'll be done. And I might wash it. I may do that. I know Jean Farish washes all of her needlework. I'm a little scared, but you know, DMC doesn't, it's pretty color fast, and it's just a white, you know, it'll be fine. I need to just do it. Okay, next. This is one I love, love, love. Picked it up, put it down, picked it up. I've been doing my own floss conversion, and I ended up going to a needlework shop I'll talk about in a second that I got some more purples because I wanted to change this one out. I had started on the words with this Classic Colorworks, right, or Gentle Arts sampler threads, and it's called Highland Heather, which is really beautiful, and it does look kind of like what the picture is showing. But when I put it on this 40 count, I wrote it on here, 40 count Dusty Road, 40 count Dusty Road by Seraphim, it just felt like it was not showing up the way I wanted it to. So I pulled out the words and I restitched them in Weeks Dye Works Iris. I left tender just so you could see the difference. It's not a huge difference, but it's enough of a difference to make the words pop out just a little bit more and read a little bit better for me. I still like that. Maybe I'll just leave tender light like that, but we'll see. I'll go on. I'm pushing on down to the bottom here, and I'm going to go across and start on the house and work up from there. Yeah, it's not a terribly big sampler, so this is going to get a lot of love in September for sure. But this is, oh, I love working on it. I love it. I love the fabric, Seraphim fabric. It is nice. And yeah, my flosses. Loving those. Okay, let's go on. So another one I've been picking up, and these are all my not giant ones, is my Blackbird Designs Oh Joyous Day. And this was some car stitching I did. So we went day camping. It was a lot of fun. We just went up to towards Tahoe. There's a place called Kybers, and we just did a day. We just went up for a day because we had some friends up there, and piled the dogs in the car, and I sat there and stitched. I'm going to talk about where we stopped on the way there, but wow, look at that. I got that bird. You can see I kind of stopped right there. I was just doing fill-in in the car, and we got back and I put it down and haven't really worked on it since I got back, but I am glad that I picked it up and started working on it again. It's inspiring to me to pick it up, and the problem is I made an oopsie on it over here, so this stuff just from that up has to come out and I have to redo it, which is not a big deal. I just need to do it. But you know how it is when you have a mistake and you're like, oh, I don't want to, nah, maybe I can just fudge it. No, Catherine, just fix it. Just fix it. You love it. Just fix it. And that's the one. It's funny because my husband, I've heard other people talk about, they'll be working on things and their husband will look at it and go, wow, that's really nice. And you're like, oh, really? He loves this one. And originally I had wanted to do it because for our anniversary this year. So that's not for a few months. Hopefully I'll show it some love in September and see if I can make a big push on it. Okay, that is that part. I'm going to show you my bigger samplers here. So I've got some 3 hands across the sea samplers that I've been working on. I'd want to show you, and then I'm going to push on here. So let me grab the first one. Is a stitch along I'm doing with Barbara. The Raspberry Stitcher is hosting this she started in April for Autism Awareness Month, and there's a lot of great people that are working on this right now. So I jumped in too. And I am doing this on 36 count buttercream by Seraphim. Silk Weaver, sorry. Get those confused sometimes. And I'm using the Victoria Clayton silk conversion. So the Victoria Clayton is a dyer that she does silk, and she'll do special packs sometimes for specific projects, and so she did a pack for this one. So I bought that, and Barbara is using it as well, but it's really interesting. I mean, my fabric is kind of loose, and so this is a very fine silk, and I said that before. If I was to work with this silk again, which I'm sure I will, I'd use 40 count, because it just slips and goes through the fabric so well. And I think Barbara's shows up completely different than mine. I think mine is really soft and sweet, and I love it. And it's a buttercream, which is what this one is as well, but I over dyed. You can see this is the Hand and Heart one. This is the same fabric. I just over dyed it with tan red. And yeah, there it is. And I work down here, and I'm going to go across and start working on the house, and then move my way up from there. I don't know where I am on the cell. I don't know, but I will definitely be done by next April for sure. I'm hoping, I was kind of hoping I'd get done this year, but we'll see. I'm not gonna. There's other ones that I want to work on first. Okay, so I don't know what I did with my Ann Uffendell chart. Oh, here it is. Sorry, here I am, back. There she is. Haven't worked a ton on this, but this is coming out in September for a lot of love. And I did work on the top part. So this is on my Rolla frame, R-O-L-A, Rolla frame. And this is made in America. If you're interested, you can Google that. You can get it through shops. I know Needle in a Haystack has some Rolla frames. If you're interested in this type of frame, give them a call. They had some when I was in there. So this is where I am. So I went across the top here all the way over. I said, oh, I'm done with that whole top, just that top line. Now there's a lot of over one little motifs like that need to go. There's a lot of over one that needs to go in there. Also, what did I forget? Can you see it? Yes. I'm sure you spotted it right here. I did not do that top thing. So I have that left to do. So there I am on that one. And again, I'm going to be working on that in September, and it will come. Alrighty. Ann Morrison. Another Hands Across the Sea. And let's see here. This is where I am on her. And this is a stitch along with Traditional Stitches out of Canada. And I am doing right here. This is where I am. So I kind of went rogue on this a little bit. So there are different patterns that you're supposed to follow for the month, and so I believe it was this one, and then you're supposed to work on the middle, and I chose to do the two sides first so that I could really get that bottom part right here, get that correct, and work my way up, because I didn't want to get off on my stitching and then come back and be off on the eyelet heart. So that's where I am on that. I completed this side, and this is on my Millennium frame. This is on a 37 count Russian tea cake, and this is a called for DMC. One strand of floss over 2 linen threads. I love this fabric. I love my Millennium frame. I love everything about this project. It's a great project to work on. Oh, I should say too, my Ann Uffendell. This is on a 36 count. It's a Lakeside Vintage Pearled Barley. And I am using the called for silk flosses that I got through the attic Needlework. I just called them up and they sent them to me. There we go. Okay, so those are all my Hands Across the Seas that I'm going to share, and those are the current whips that I'm going to share. I do have a little bit of haul. I'll show you a quick book I found at the thrift store. This was $2. The Book of Samplers. This is a great book, and it's not charts. It talks about the history of samplers, and it's fascinating. It's a fascinating read. I mean, you know, that's just the first page. I have only gotten to like page 14 here, but it talks about sampler history, where it came from, where it's going, and shows some really, really beautiful examples. So I've really been enjoying reading this at night and flipping through it during the day. It's really interesting. They talk, this is by Deborah Brown, Marguerite Foudry and Deborah Brown, and I believe this was 1970. I think this is from 70, let me look really quick, 1980. This is from 1980. They talk about samplers being, and how people follow patterns, and how really truly a sampler is something that was, it started off being something that you told a story of your personal story with. So I really love that idea, and I really want to do a sampler that I just create. So that's definitely something that is in my future. So I, you know, have been stitching a lot of motifs and getting ideas for what kind of border I'd want and what I want to put on it, what story I want to tell in my sampler, and it doesn't have to be historically, you know, accurate. It can be, you know, current icons and things like that. So okay, so pushing. Here we go. I'm gonna start some hauls. So this is stuff that I felt I had to have. Not a ton of it, but there's some of it here. And I was, again, I'm trying to limit my haul. I'm trying to, my husband and I sat down and we're doing a lot of projects around the house, and one of them is landscaping, and landscaping can get costly quickly. So we went through and we're like, okay, we need to knock some of that price off and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you know, I'm retired. We are retired. We want to stay retired. So I had to start thinking about that. And I have so many things I could be stitching. So I've got to really, I'm trying to really go through my book of days. And every time I purchase something, I write it down and I highlight it in green. And so I'm trying to at least be aware and think twice before I click buy. But there's something that's so hard. So this one I saw, I had to get it. It's so little and cute. So Stacy Nash Primitives, and this is called The Good Stitching Witch Pin Keep, and this is perfect timing for me for some October stitching. I really want to start this. I love it. And I bought a couple of the flosses. So I went on 1, 2, 3 stitch, and I got the flosses that I could find. They had Carriage Black and Heirloom Gold. So I haven't, you know, I have yet to kit this up. I like the idea of using, I need to use a color linen that I'm going to be able to see her skin with, but I'll go through my stuff and look for it. But I love it. I mean, even if I just did that with her and her black strawberry, and this is the type of thing I would keep out year round. I love it so much. And then on that note, I was watching Carol Saltbox Stitcher, and she showed this, so I had to run over and get this. And yes, I went on Hobby Lobby and bought the box for all of that to go in. And I was looking at the box. I didn't want to pull it out because I have it all wrapped up in bubble wrap right now. I don't want to break it or whatever. So I was looking at it going, oh, these little compartments, they're little. So that's some tiny stitching, but so it doesn't seem like it would take a terribly long time to do. And of course this is by blackbird designs, and so cute. You could just do some of those as pin keeps, and you don't have to do the box clearly. Love that. And those are like pillows that are put in the box, and then a couple of these I think are finished flat and put in the box too. Anyway, it's got that. I don't have it kitted, but I don't know if it'll be a start this year, but I have it nonetheless. Okay, on our way camping, one of the things that got me out the door early in the morning was a visit to a needlework shop. Sorry for drinking. In Placerville, California, there is a shop called Kelsey's Needlework. They are very nice there. It is a sweet little historical town. The original name was Hangtown. You don't want to know why. Perfect for Halloween. Anyway, Kelsey's Needle Crafts is the name of the shop, and I have been there before, and they have a great selection of floss. I was really thrilled with, and they just got a new, they got a bunch of classic colorworks in. Anyway, let me show you what I got. So my husband's like, yeah, we can stop by that needlework shop. Like, okay, let's go. Time's a wasting. So I walked in, and the first thing I said is, do you have any blackbird design charts? They had one. So I came home with this. My heart can rest. This is a beautiful chart, and somebody just showed it, and I thought, oh shoot, I wish I had that. Guess what? I have it. I love it. Really pretty. Don't have it kitted, but I bought, they had just a limited, and of course I asked for lakeside linen. They said, oh, that one's kind of hard to get. I said, yeah, sure it is. It sure is. But I did get a 36 count Zweigart, just an antique white. Is it antique white? That's what it says, but it looks pretty white. It doesn't look antique-y at all. It just looks like white, but I figured I could over-dye it. I got quite a big piece of it, so I'll keep some of it white probably, and then I will play around with some dye. I really love the dyeing process. It's a lot of fun for me. And then I got, this is a 32 count. Is that 36? It is 36, that last one. This one is 32, and this is vintage country mocha, which I've never had before. I have never stitched on. So it's kind of a big piece, but you know, I like that bigger count, 32 count, and that's one of the things. I was watching Molly West, the Sensible Stitcher, who I will link below. I love her so much. I'm such a big fangirl of her. I have a big crush on Molly. She does a lot of different projects, and she uses some bigger count, 32s or 28s, and she's kind of all over the board. She uses Aida, she uses linen, she kind of goes wherever she feels like going, and I love that. And so I was like, sometimes I just want to sit by the pool and I want to stitch on a 32 count because it's easy. I don't have to take any magnification. I can have my little my glasses and stitch something. So I got some 32 count vintage country mocha, which I haven't had before, so I'm excited to have that. What else did I get? And then I got a big purchase of that day. I was walking around, and I'll put a video in at the end of the shop, and I asked her if I could. She said, sure, take a video. Maybe I'll put it in right here. So here we go. This is their classic color works. All of their supplies, a lot of needle point. They have some scissors. There are some Dovos. I bought some if you're looking for those. There is fabric. A lot of 32, 28, not the higher counts, a little bit of 40, but it would be, I bought some plain whites of Zweigart that I can dye. A lot of fibers. They've got, these are DMC's Pearl. They've got their DMCs. They've got some Spander there. charts, sampler threads. I bought some of those. They've got those kinds of supplies for snaps. They've got a lot of classic colors. They just got a shipment in if you're looking for a specific. There's some of their models. Their Christmas. They've got the Prairie Schoolers. That's so cute. Really cute. That's a cute chart. Eek. Alright. They've got the little sleds. If you're looking for those for finishing, you've got those. Lots of crossings. Okay. Alrighty. And I'm sorry, is it Shauna? Shauna. And
I'm Sue.
And you're Sue. Okay, nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you too.
Alrighty.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm getting better at this. And I was walking around and they have a case, this old-fashioned case. It looks kind of like that kind of thing. And I'm like, wait, oh, those are scissors. Oh, I got a pair of Dovos. And these are those stainless steel that Brenda, the sampler stitcher, likes. They're curved. That's what I love, is that curved tip, because I can get in and snip close to my threads. They're fantastic. I love the snip with them. And of course I left the price tag on, and I left the Dovo tag on, and I said, oh, you have Dovos. Well, let me share that, and you might be getting some calls. They go, yeah, you know, it's funny. We haven't been able to get them recently. I said, well, I think they stopped making them. They said, oh, that's why. No wonder. Like, no, so sad. There are a lot of great scissors out there, though. So, but I'm glad I only have one other pair, so I'm so happy to have another pair of those. Okay, that's it. That's all my haul that I'm going to share. I do have some freebies I would like to share with you. You saw the La-Di-Da heart and hand and heart. Show you again. That's a freebie. Teresa Kogut came out with this beautiful freebie a couple of days ago, and I jumped on over to her blog and I downloaded this. Is that not adorable? Kindness is free. Yes, it is. And the cat and the dog. I love it. I love this so much. Thank you, Teresa Kogut. That is adorable, and it's got everything you could want. It's got the list of the DMCs and how many count threads you need and all that. Okay, this is a new to me, and I saw this on 911 Stitcher, Stacy 911, and she talks about Pinker and Punkin quilting. I will link this below. I'll try to link all the freebies below. And this one, I can't show you this because it's the chart, but I'll show you part of it. She does all these free charts, and they're salt box, like different season kind of a thing. So cute. Really, really generous and beautiful little stitch. So that one I will be doing. That one's called Susan's Summer Salt Box, and she does a lot of salt box charts that she does. Okay, all right. Yes, I think that's it. I think that's all of my cross stitch that I have to share. On that note, I would like to do a giveaway. Now this is for no other reason than I just want to give a couple of things away. So because I have finished this one, this Prairie Schooler, I would like to give this little chart away. So if you would like to stitch this, just use the word Halloween in your comment. Please comment. Please be a subscriber. Please be under the age, hey, be under the age of 200 and be over the age of 18. How's that? If you could be over 18, please, and so I can get your address. That's the only reason. It's not because you're not old enough to stitch. It's just because you don't want older people having that kind of information. So yes, Prairie Schooler, who's there, and use the word Halloween. I also have another giveaway. This is some, I have 2 more. Okay, so, and again, I'll send these anywhere in the world. These are charts. I'm going to send them through the U.S. Postal Service. The most affordable way I can. This one is a really cool sampler chart, but it's not complete, but I will show you what's in it. This is an old chart from the 80s or 90s, and it has spring, winter, summer, and fall. That is what's in it. And there's also a marriage sampler, and this one's called an alphabet sampler. But it's not the alphabet sampler, I don't think is complete. Is it? No. Okay, so this is what's in there. That, and that, so the seasons. The marriage sampler, which looks like, I don't want to show you the charts here. It looks like this. It's a really sweet little marriage sampler. Can do any colors. And then the alphabet chart is part of this band sampler, so this part right here. So that one, if you want, just say sampler. And there's that. And then this, I will be happy to give away to anybody that would like this. It's called Woolen Sheep, and it's a sweet little sound. I just have to kind of be careful about, I have a lot of charts. This is a nice cardstock. If you're interested in this, just use the word sheep in your comment. So sheep, sampler, or Halloween. And you will be entered. You can enter for all 3 if you like, and win one. And good luck if you would like one of those. Yes. Okay, so that is my giveaway. Now I'm going to jump into my quilting. So if you're only here for cross stitch, thank you for coming by. You know how much I love you. I love all of you stitchers, and I'm so happy for you to come back and check in with me. Please come back in before September. So I'm going to film another a whip parade for my samplers only. So if you're not into samplers, you'll probably skip that one too. But that's going to be the end of this month. So in about 2 weeks, I'm going to do for Sampler September. I'm focusing only on samplers, and I'm going to have a rotation, and I'm going to have my rotation planned, and I'm going to do a sampler whip parade, which I have no idea how many samplers I have going, so I'm going to pull them all out. It could be 10 or more. So that will be happening in about 2 weeks before September 1st. I will be showing that. So thank you again. I love you. Bye. Okay, if you're here, if you're going to stay for the quilting, I just have a tiny bit. I've got haul and I have a finish. So you saw my finish of my project bag, and this is a finish I did for my sofa. So we have a couch. It's kind of a L shape, and I just put throws on it because we have dogs that jump all over our couch. Our dogs are like our kids, and they have to get up and cuddle with us, and they're corgis, so they shed 24/7. So I like to keep things on the sofa so that I can just throw them in the washing machine and wash them. Well, I'm like, why don't I just get a charm pack and I'll just do a sofa throw? So I found this, I went online and I found, it's Kansas Troubles is the name, I think, of the company. And you quilters know, I'm new to quilting, so believe me, I don't have a lot of quilting to show, but I'm starting to get into it now. So Bittersweet Lane is the name of the fabric line. I bought a bunch of charm squares. Those are those 5-inch squares. If you're staying and you're not a quilter, that's what they are. They're 5-inch squares, and you can buy them, and they come in all the different colorways of that particular line. So all I did was join all those charm packs together. I got 2, and I joined most of those together, and I just made it to fit a section of my sofa. So I can't remember what this is. I think it's like 50 inches long by maybe, I don't know. Well, I guess I could know. Here it is like 25 inches wide. So there we go. And I had this Primitive Gatherings red that I just did the binding, and I did the outside border, and I love it. It turned out great. Now I didn't have any batting, and I was too lazy to stop what I was doing and go to the store for batting, so I just went into my stash of fabric, and I had an old sheet that it was really a thick old sheet that I cut up, and so it's lined with this old sheet, and then I have a piece of a heavier looks like a cotton linen blend on the back. That is my quilting finish. I love the fabric. My husband loves it. He's like, oh, well, now you have to do one for the other side. I said, okay. He said, how did you do that so fast? I said, I'm just fast. I'm a good sewer. I didn't tell him all those little pieces were pre-cut for me. So all I had to do was stitch them together, boop, 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 in these rows, and then sew those all together. Put a border on it, bind it. I bound it by machine, so that was a lot easier. I'm going to show you some fabric I got. So I bought a stack of, I pre-ordered this from the Fat Quarter Shop. It's the Lori Holt Stitch series. And of course I had to get it because it's all about stitching. So I'm going to show you some of it. I don't want to take it all apart because it's so well packaged. It's like that, all those different colors. Really pretty. Happy Lori Holt colors, and then you have the kind of, it's not even, it's kind of charcoal-y looking. So you have things that kind of make it look sampler-like. You have little cross stitches, and then the other part of it is this. So these all, it's all one line, and I ordered it, I pre-ordered this a while ago. And it has like all the vintage Singer, like, you know, pattern, vintage patterns on there. And again, that colorway, beautiful. And this one I really love too. So we have this is kind of that cheater cloth. So it looks like pieced quilts. Fun. Got that. And then this one I love, love, love. Looks like samplers. And you can go on Fat Quarter Shop. I think they probably are selling this right now. I just had to pre-order it because I knew I was going to want it, and I knew I was going to want to make project bags out of it. And so cute. You got all the cute Lori Holt colors and vintage sampler stuff. Yes, love it. And I also pre-ordered the Blackbird Designs fabric that's coming out. I think it's called Threads That Bind. And so I pre-ordered some of that from Shakespeare's Peddler Kitten Stitcher. And I also pre-ordered some from Fat Quarter Shop. So I'm kind of spreading the love out a little bit. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So that is my fabric that I've hauled in, and now I have a couple of charts, quilt books that I want to share with you. So I love thrift stores, and I know a lot of people love thrift stores. I love them specifically because I can find things that are like a lot of people are casting off, like quilt books or charts, things like that I've shown before. So I'm going to share some of these. Some of them I've heard of, some of them I have not heard of. So the first one I was really lucky to find. This was all the same day. I found these all in the same day. This beautiful Blackbird Designs called Cozy Nights by Barb and Alma. That was a lucky find. I love this sampler, and I just went, ah! Made that little sound in the middle of the thrift store. Let me see if I can pull out. Oh, I think, you know what? Now that I'm seeing this, I think Susan Stanley actually showed this book. I feel like she's shown this book. So, like that. And that one. I feel like I've seen this before. Ooh, that one's really pretty. I'm really bad at showing these things. I'm learning. So yeah, a lot of really cool, and it's got like all of the applique patterns in here. It's all complete. A lot of cool things. Oh, this, yeah, Susan, did you show this? I think she showed that. So, yes, and I love this. I want to do it. That that'll be my next red sampler start. This one called Fresh from the Garden, and this is by, it says Blackbird Designs, so it is Barb and Alma, I think, both of them. Yes, and beautiful quilts in here, applique patterns. Oh, this one's really pretty. Oh, Midnight Garden hooked rug. Never done rug hooking, but it's intriguing to me. Look at that, garden notes. Love those kinds of touches that they put in there. Love it. And there's definitely some cross stitch projects. Oh, I love this basket blossoms. That one right there. I would love to do that as a wall hanging. And that is gorgeous. Or a table topper. I can just not throw it around. Now these I've never seen before, and this is Blackbird Designs, but and I looked online to see if there are more of these, because it's like part one and this is part 2 and part 3, so I was looking to see if I could find a part 1. So this is Blackbird Designs, but it says designed by Cherie Ralston and Alma Allen. So I don't think this was Barb doing this, and I think this is 2000. It's 2000. I don't know. Anyway, I'll show you. This is part 3, and I have part 2 and part 3 of these. And so clearly missing part 1, but this is the complete quilt, which is gorgeous. So I have to look through and see how many of these blocks are in these two. I seem to think I don't have all the blocks in them, but that doesn't mean I can't fudge it somehow. But they have other, they have this little stitch in there, and they also have this one here, which says Dear Friend, and it has this applique around it. If you know anything about these, if you can leave me a comment about it. Is there a 1? There must be a 1 if there's a 2 and a 3, right? I count to 8 because I'm a dancer. Okay, and then we've got Ladybird, Ladybird, and this is by Jan Paddock and Alma Allen. And again, I found these all together, so somebody collected them and loved them. And this is I can't find the, why can't I find it? It is $19.99. Okay, let me show you some of the, look at that, cute. 4-basket wall hanging. Warning is broken. It has a paper clip in there, so somebody was working on these. This one's cute. Lake Star. And oh yeah. Look at that. That's cute. What's that one called? Ladybird Quilt. And this one is called Higden Camp. Love both of those. So again, Ladybird, Ladybird. And those are the Blackbird charts. Yeah, those are them. And then I got this one called Under the Stars. And this is by Cherie Ralston, which again, I feel like Cherie Ralston was a partner in Blackbird at first. And so this is her Kansas City Star Quilts. So, oof. Templates. They have a sewing box, so they talk about, and who does this? I think Alma. Is Alma talking about that? Quaker box. Anyway, so there's a pin cushion, Quaker pin cushion. So there's a chart for that. There's a sewing box. And they give really detailed instructions on how to do that. And it feels like what you would see with the Blackbird finishes. There's a pocket, like a needle book, pocket calendar it says. Let's see what some of the quilts are. Let me see if I can see any big pictures of them. I don't see any big pictures of the quilts, but they have small pictures of them. So let me see if I can pick one for you. I'm sorry, it's taking forever. Stark Raven Mad. This is a great. I like that. Even if I just played with that right there. So, Under the Stars. So there we go. Where am I? An hour. All right, so that's it. I would like to say thank you, and if again, don't forget to enter those giveaways if you want to win a chart, and check back with me in a couple weeks because I'm going to be doing a sampler parade. So again, like, subscribe, and stitch all the things. I love you guys. Bye bye. Let's see what's inside.
Oh, you got me some fabric.